Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another extravagant few minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza, and on X at the Real Captain Lou. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. You get all of our great programming, all of our extravagant few minutes episodes live and archived. The Extravaganza with yours truly, and also my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein, and the ACHA Power Play Season 10 rolling along as the road to St. Louis is getting closer and closer. 2026 coming up in March. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get all of that great programming. It's that simple. Hey, a reminder that this extravagant few minutes episode is brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of that purchase. If there's a college football playoff game that you want to go to, or a bowl game, Michigan against Texas on New Year's Eve, CMU in Detroit against Northwestern, Western Michigan and Myrtle Beach taking on Kennesaw State, go to SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of that purchase. All right, here we go. The college football playoffs are all set. The brackets are ready to go. Not really too much of a surprise in the top four, top five, even the top seven. Maybe Ole Miss and Texas Tech could have flip-flopped, been 6 and 7, but that's just splitting hairs there. We all knew Oklahoma was. After that, it's when things got dicey, obviously, when it came down to Alabama, Notre Dame, and, of course, Miami. Now, with the way the rules are set, with the top five conferences having to have at least one bid, it knocked out the ACC originally because 7 and 5 Duke was the conference winner, so they couldn't have them. So that meant you had to have, supposedly, 2 group of 5 teams. Now, do we really need 2 group of 5 teams? I don't think we do. I think that's definitely something that the committee and the rules committee, whatever, they need to fix that. But with that being said, that meant one team was going to be knocked out of the playoffs. And then it came down to Notre Dame or Miami. Now, but you could also say, well, how come Alabama got to stay in? They lost their championship game. Why isn't BYU in? Well, BYU got beat twice by Texas Tech, and both times they got beat rather badly. They didn't show up in the second half yesterday and got trucked again. Alabama beat Georgia earlier this year. And yeah, I know they lost to Florida State, but they also they had the biggest win of any of the power conferences. They had that run in the middle of the year. And I think with that on their resume, they deserve to be in. So with the way the rules are set, it came down to Notre Dame and it came down to Miami. And with the 2 teams that close, and with the head-to-head mattering, at least it should have mattered, and it did. Miami got in. Notre Dame's the odd man out. So there you go. And please, so Notre Dame gets upset. Their AD's all upset. And all of a sudden they decide to decline the bowl game. Well, don't make Notre Dame out to be the martyr here. They are not the martyr. They took the low road. They took the Bush League mode. They should have played in the bowl game. You see BYU, who is just as upset as they are, or maybe Texas, bowing out of a bowl game? No, they tried to keep the sanctity of college football. This is what it's all about, playing in the bowl games. Are they meaningless? Maybe they are. But still, you play in the bowl games. Notre Dame, who thinks they're higher and mightier than everybody else, they decided to skip the bowl game. Well, you know what? They've got everything handed to them. Starting next year, they're going to get that preferential treatment back with that MOU they signed with the college football playoff system, which means if they are in the top 12, no matter what, they get in. Even if there are conference champions that deserve to get in, all high and mighty Notre Dame's going to get in because of that MOU. So I don't want to hear any complaining. They didn't get in, so they'd say, all right, we don't get our cake. We're going home. We're taking our ball. We're going home. We're not going to play in a bowl game. It would have been a pretty good bowl game against BYU, but they decided that they're too good for it and they don't want to go. Did they have the resume? Probably did. Are they one of the top 12 teams in the country? Maybe so. But they didn't exactly play a murderer's row of a schedule either. They played the same schedule as Miami did. And it all came down to you got to look at all 12 games. You can't go just by the last month. That's unacceptable. If you did that, then the SEC shouldn't be getting teams in because they play Chattanooga and Marist and whoever, South Dakota, Northeast, West State, whatever. You got to look at the whole year. And when it comes down to that, Miami beat Notre Dame, albeit by only 3 points, but they won. So that was the ultimate tiebreaker, and Miami deserved to get in. But one thing that I did hear today, too, that really kind of irked me a little bit was when the committee chair said that the ACC not having a participant made no bearing at all in Miami getting in. I don't believe that for a minute. The ACC's got a little bit of pull, not nearly as much as the SEC does and what ESPN has with the College Football Committee. But you can't sit there and tell me that the committee and the NCAA were not going to let a conference football or a college football playoff go without an ACC team. So that helped Miami, I think, ultimately, even though they did win head-to-head against Notre Dame. So that was one thing in their favor as well. So please don't tell me that that had no bearing on it. I don't think it did. So, all right. And again, it's nobody's ever going to be totally happy. And when they go to 16 teams, the 17th team is going to be upset because they didn't get in. I think the college football field is set, and I think they got it right. It is set, and I think ultimately they got it right. There's going to be some exciting games. Like I said, you know, again, the committee, they've set up the SEC pretty handily, getting all those home games in the opening round. I don't know what else they could have done, but it's going to make for an exciting first round. So there you go. You can throw darts at it all you want. But again, Notre Dame, the odd team out, they lost head-to-head to Miami. And that's got to count for something. And ultimately it did. Like I said, don't make Notre Dame out to be a martyr here. You know, just because they decided they didn't want to go to a bowl game and they didn't get the bid, the rules weren't in their favor. They should have played a tougher schedule in the non-conference. They're an independent. If they're so high and mighty and they've got the brand and everything, teams should want to come and play them. They should be able to play bigger teams. Ultimately, they played about the same schedule as Miami, and when it came down to brass tacks, they lost to Miami. And the way the rules are set up, where you got to take the top 5 conference champions, that left them out. Somebody had to get knocked out. And unfortunately for Notre Dame and their fans, it was them. So again, they took their ball and went home.